Hey out there, this is Thursday, March 19th, 2020. That's fun to say, right? 2020. And it is just about 8:28 in the morning here in Northern California. And today, as usual, I'll get into a lot of stuff, but right away I got to say something about the coronavirus, COVID-19, the novel coronavirus. I compiled a list of different diseases that have been broadcast on the mainstream media in the last, 5, 10 years, 15, 20 years. And, it's really mind-boggling that we're so freaked out about this one all of a sudden. And it has everything to do with the spin the mainstream media puts on it. I mean, they keep listing how many deaths are being caused by coronavirus, right, in America and worldwide. Everybody's seeing the same thing, right? America's been turned into a ghost town. Restaurants, bars, and Las Vegas has been shut down, for God's sake. But they don't tell us how many people have died from flu, regular influenza. Look up the statistics. The last time I Googled it, and you know what? As much as I rely on Google, I got to tell you, sometimes I've checked statistics and facts one day and they're different the next, or it's something like that, shortly thereafter. So, I mean, you really got to get corroborating information, do your own research, in other words. It's hard to listen to anybody on anything anymore. So, I understand there's about 36,000 deaths from the regular influenza every year, and that's with a vaccine. All these people getting vaccinated for the regular influenza, generic influenza, right? It has no name. I mean, it's just flu, right? It's just like a bad cold. I mean, what's a cold? What's the difference? We're splitting hairs here. It's minutia. But I mean, this idea that we're going to freak out all of a sudden, and about this coronavirus. I mean, the toilet paper. It's mind blowing. Everybody's seen this. What in the hell? What are people hoarding toilet paper for? I mean, they're making jokes on the local news here. The guy was like, "Yeah, you don't need to buy 4,000 rolls of toilet paper." Is 3,999 okay? I mean, what's wrong with people? Don't you have a few rolls of toilet paper? I mean, how many people are caught off guard? I mean, of all the things you make sure you typically have an ample supply, most people have toilet paper. I mean, you write it on your list before you run out. Am I right? So it's so stupid. I mean, what are people thinking? I mean, everybody's going to get the runs all of a sudden, and there's going to be no toilet paper left for them. So they just got to just hoard it all. I mean, what is wrong with people? It's like a mental illness. I mean, we're so easily manipulated. We're malleable. We're very fluid as a society. I'm trying to be as pejorative as I can because I don't want to use a term like dynamic because people would misconstrue that as, oh, that's good, it's dynamic. Well, I'm just trying to say we're fickle. We're fluid. We're easily swayed by what we hear in the mainstream media. I mean, where did this thing come from? I remember originally they were showing some bizarre animal in China, something, I don't remember the name of it. I mean, it's some obscure creature that nobody's seen before. It's some trans-species mutation that happened here. And then they said, oh, no, it was a bat. And the latest thing I'm hearing is that, maybe, there was some biological warfare industry here in America and one of the people in there stole a vial of something and let it out. I mean, it's all rumor, innuendo. Who the hell knows what it is? We all know there's a gaggle of freaking genocidal maniacs, and I'm not going to name names anymore. You can get in trouble naming names. All I know is you know the same culprits as I do. There is a handful of elitist criminals at the top of this perverted pyramid of power that want to eliminate the vast majority of humanity. And they are so delusional, so deranged, so deceived, so demonically possessed, in my opinion, that they believe that they are the chosen ones. They are better than you and I, smarter, that the planet literally needs these saviors of the earth, of Mother Maya, okay? That these are essentially, they're supplanting God's role, Mother Nature's role in the ecosystem, in the environment, with the chemtrailing, the weather modification program, that the mainstream media won't say a whisper about. So everybody's insane that says, hey, they've been spraying the sky for decades. It's practically archaic technology. Look at Ben Livingston, the father of weather weapons, back in the 1960s. He talked about how he was spraying over Vietnam, specifically to get it rain on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, to make the way tough for the North Vietnamese, the communists, to come and fight our troops in the South Vietnam. This has been going on. This is ancient. I remember learning about. I was going to school in first grade. Maybe I was still in kindergarten. After we moved out of California in 1963, we moved to Inglewood, Florida for a brief period. And I remember there learning about cloud seeding. It could be kindergarten, first grade at best. Because I know I also attended first grade in Santa Cruz, California. So, this is ancient technology. So people that think that it's a big joke or a conspiracy theory to say that they've been modifying the weather, and the concoction they're using is some, it's got a lot of aluminum. The whole theory behind it is that the sun will reflect back on itself. It's like something out of Futurama. And if anybody watches, Matt Groening's Futurama, the cartoon, one of my favorite, I watch it all the time. I got the entire collection. They stopped making them after volume 8. But, we're all a bunch of meat bags, according to Bender, my favorite character in there, the robot. Wouldn't mind meeting the guy that does that voice. He's incredible. But, this is insanity, what's going on here, that we don't see just because the mainstream media doesn't say it, so we don't believe it. But online, you can get information about this weather modification program that's been going on for decades. You can see, the scientists say, we can't tell the public because then whatever their reasoning is. Remember, insane people run the show. So for regular, decent people that are trying to be upright human beings, it's that simple. Just to be good, decent, loving, kind people, okay, with a soul, trying to treat others the way they want to be treated, all those good things. We're up against monsters. How are we supposed to get in their head? We can't, because they're insane. They're madmen. We can only turn to God. God is the one that has to help us through all storms in life. And what we're going through here is another storm. But they've been meddling with the weather, okay? And this ingredient, this aluminum they've been spraying, this powdered aluminum. You can aerosolize metals, believe it or not. You can vaporize them. You could turn them into a steam vapor, any metals. You get them hot enough, and that's what happens. Okay, you can, colloidal metals, right? You break it down. You break down the structure of the metal, so we can end up breathing this stuff. And we know, if you've done any research on Alzheimer's, dementia, this is one of the main ingredients in the brain they find when people have this disease, this Alzheimer's. So we're breathing this crap. It's like they're doing a lobotomy on all of us, right under our noses. They won't talk about it on the mainstream media, not a whisper. Of course, they don't want to take responsibility. Could you imagine the lawsuits if these are the ones that are meddling with the weather? Just last week, we had 80-degree temperatures here in Chico, California. 80 degrees in February, early March. Do you understand? And now it's freezing. I was just bringing in the garbage can. There's a layer of ice on the garbage can out there at 8 something in the morning. They're meddling with the weather. Do you think they want to be caught holding the bag and be responsible for that? No, they want to blame you and I because you drive a car, because you take a trip, because you heat and cool your home. You understand? Because you have a carbon footprint, period. You've got to go. Not them, not the elitists that are running the show. So these people, knowing the Georgia Guidestones and their plans are all spelled out on giant marble stones out there in the state of Georgia, you can read all about it. These are the altruistic ones. In their heads, their deluded heads, they think they're altruistic and the earth needs them. These are the good guys, the saviors of the earth. Do you understand? So just think of the people I'm talking about. You heard of the Bilderberger Group? You heard of the New World Order cabal? You know these elitists, who they are. They're in the highest echelons of our government. They're supposed to be our trusted, loyal employees of the people. We pay their salaries, right? We the people, the tax dollars. That's who's doing it. We're talking Congress and Senate and the executive branch. For over half a century, the vast majority of these people, not every single one of them, but the majority don't care about what's best for the American people. They're beholden to the money masters of misery. They know which side their bread is buttered on. So now we're talking about the money printing class of people. Do you understand? I mean, the wanton, vast, virtually unlimited power. That's why I call it satanic power of the money printing press. Think of the money we're talking about here. The money. Everything, anything, forever. If you have that perpetual right to the patent of the money, it's just money. Do you understand? The concept of money is insanity in and of itself. It was invented to dupe people, to steal, rob from people. The people running the show don't care about conscience. Do you understand? Their values are all screwed up. They're ungodly. But they put themselves in the position higher than God. They exalt themselves above Mother Nature. They exalt themselves above literal science. The science behind believing there's something vast that we need to understand forever. We'll be studying it. The scientists open one door and there's 1,000 others staring at them to open. And they're going to act like they know it all and they're ready to start modifying the climate. You understand? These people are crazy. So you tell me, knowing they want to get rid of the vast majority of human beings, these people, because now they don't need us anymore. And the reason is because of modern technology. There's no need for labor anymore. Look at all the people that are being laid off now. My daughter, she works in San Francisco. She's a food server. No more job. It's virtually on lockdown everywhere. So we couldn't have handled the bailout of 08? Oh, no, they're too big to fail. They're too big to jail. What we had was a simple market correction in the housing market. That's what we needed. And a few criminals to go to jail. Did we have it? No. So who's in cahoots with who? Do you understand? I mean, this is a juggernaut of pure evil genius. That's who's manipulating us. And see how much power they have. Look what they've done to us over coronavirus. Not a single case in all of Butte County, California, as of this moment. But we're all going to freak out and turn America into a ghost town. And I'm the radical crazy guy here. What's stopping these people from spreading a biological weapon? Having already made a vaccine for themselves and their families, these elitist scumbags, inoculated themselves. Okay, now's the time. Release it. They're controlling these planes flying around. So now instead of spraying some aluminum concoction that's causing fires like killed 86 people, I believe it was, in